late mother, namely Mrs. Meta Beckhofer and Dr. Henry Joshua and his wife Judy. In Pirkei Avos, it states, "Asei l'chol rav, uknei l'chol chaver." We are fortunate and that we value that we have a close relationship with a number of illustrious Rebbeim who are kind enough to give us the kavod to join us tonight. Those of you present, whom we consider our friends, know who you are, and we thank you for your friendship. We were very spoiled having a mother who would have celebrated her 104th birthday at the end of this month. Until the end, she had, Baruch Hashem, all her faculties, devoured the New York Times from front page to the last without glasses, enjoyed her television immensely, had a wonderful way of communicating with her children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and even great-great-grandchildren. That she reached the wonderful age, we have to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as well as my sister Denise and my brother-in-law Joe, who doted on her, cared for her, did whatever possible for her comfort on a 24/7 basis. We, other siblings, who were not in such close proximity, cannot thank them enough for the love, care they bestowed on our mother. We welcome Rabbi Dr. Norman Lam and his wife Mindy, who were our wonderful neighbors for many years, until they moved recently to a more conducive apartment, and we surely miss them. Rabbi Riskin called me when I was a bachelor in Lincoln Towers and asked me to join in the very first Friday evening davening in the fledgling new Lincoln Square Synagogue in a small apartment on West End Avenue. I gladly accepted, since this location was so much nearer for me than the Spanish and Portuguese Synagogue, Westside Institutional, or Jewish Center. I asked Rabbi Riskin after davening why he hadn't mentioned Shabbos morning to me, which he replied that he would have a mechitza within 4 weeks and knew I wouldn't feel comfortable without one. Well, it didn't take him 4 weeks, but he had his mechitza up within 2, consisting of tall green plastic edges. Rabbi Riskin became an integral part of our life until his aliyah, and we thank him for his close friendship, which lasted to this day. With Rabbi Mintz, I enjoyed an extremely good chemistry and understanding. During his tenure at Lincoln Square Synagogue, I had constant discussions and dialogues with him, seeking advice and guidance on Gabbai or Heber Kadisha matters, which I greatly valued. Again, our relationship with him and his family has survived to this day. I greatly appreciate Rabbi Mintz's and his wife's participation, since they only returned from Europe last night. And now I come to Rabbi Robinson. We hit it off from the beginning when I was still functioning as Gabbai Rishon. Upon reaching my 70th birthday, I heeded my late father's advice and resigned from this honor, even to the protest of Rabbi Robinson. But our friendship and my admiration for him continued steadily. When Vivian and I left with a heavy heart our apartment to go to the airport for the flight to the Levaya in Switzerland, we came to our lobby, and there sat Rabbi Robinson with a small pulley, and I asked him if I hadn't properly said goodbye to him. He answered that he decided completely unsolicited, to join me on the flight. To give me both spiritual and physical support, which I frankly sorely needed at this point. I cannot adequately express what this meant to me, and my gratitude will be everlasting. Rabbi Robinson gave a beautiful hesped for my mother, Aliyah Shalom, had a few hours of rest, showed up for Minyan the next morning, and then flew back to New York to prepare for Shabbos and Shavuos. Rabbi, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for this tremendous chesed. Now, Achron Achron Chorvib, last but not least, we are honored that our cousin, Rabbi Yitzchak, Rabbi Dr. Yitzchak Sassoon, will also honor us with a Dvar Torah. We always, especially my grandmother Salim Lanzer, Aliyah Shalom, greatly valued our relationship to this esteemed family. Now, why only Divrei Torah and no Hespedim? Only after the actual Avaya with 6 beautiful Hespedim did one of my siblings remember taking a sealed letter addressed in my mother's handwriting to us, her children, to the community office of our shul in Basel, with specific instructions and wishes for the time of her Ketira. One of my mother's explicit and specific wishes were that no article should appear in any newspaper and no Hespedim be given at her Levaya. Fortunately, that particular wish we couldn't fulfill because we didn't know about it until the following day. But we are adhering and obeying our mother's wishes, which is the reason for the Divrei Torah tonight. After the Divrei Torah, our dear friend and longtime Chazan of Lincoln Square Synagogue, Sherwood Goffin, will recite the Keil Malei Rachamim. Thereafter, there are washing stations in the back for motzi, and we hope you will enjoy your meal. You may wonder why orchids are on the tables for such a somber occasion. Orchids were my mother's favorite flower, and we ask one of you per table to please take them home and think of our mother. After dessert, we will bench and conclude the evening with sincere thanks to you for joining us tonight. And now, with deep gratitude for his presence, I ask our Moreh Asra, Harav Riskin, to honor us with his Dvar Torah.